A toilet has one of the best named parts of all time, the ball and cock.
And now, CheezWits.
So here's a pro tip, Wally.
Yeah, so actually the stuff I had, I was already good, but I just wanted to make sure you had no reason to bash me today. So I said, hey, send me another link.
Well, then you've given me a reason to bash you because do you know where I got the link to text it to you? From the last fucking time I texted it to you.
Yeah. Well, I had it.
Wow, I came in on the fucking part.
Bradley's here.
At the wrong time. And listen, I don't have much time here, so I just wanted to say, fuck you, you're called.
Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Go fuck yourself.
I'll tell you what, for a new dad, you look well rested.
I tell you, it's getting easier in that aspect. We're almost at a year. We're 11 and a half months in.
Holy shit.
3 weeks away from a year. I know. But there have been some days, my friend. Whoever said that kids don't change everything is never had kids.
How long ago was the kid? How old's the kid?
She was born November 10th. So
November 10th. That's about my last blowjob was Thanksgiving. So that's weird how that all works out.
You stuff the old turkey. Very nice.
Kind of the same.
Wait a minute. What's
funny as hell?
I said, yeah, that's kind of the same.
Oh, I thought you meant that the last one you gave was at Thanksgiving too.
No, the last one I got was around
Brad?
Thanksgiving. So,
Atta girl.
yeah.
All right, I gotta go. You all have a good show.
Okay.
Goodbye.
Good day. So Brad, last time we spoke, I was doing one thing. I've changed jobs since last time we spoke.
Fantastic. What are you doing now?
I have a job now.
Yeah. You went from no job to a job.
Which is the opposite of my situation from the last time you were here. So
completely. Jess and I are on different paths right now.
Yeah.
So I'm doing I've taken a position as the director of operations of a resource center that assists unhoused people and immigrants getting citizenship and unhoused people and unemployed people finding jobs. A big community service center.
Now, Willie, are you there at your job now while we're talking about blowjobs?
I'm in the
and saying
kitchen,
fuck
right?
off?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, but I'm in the very far back of the room. So it's the part where I'm in right now is a day shelter, and it's closed now. The day shelter closes at 3:00. I've been here since I've been here since 5 this morning. I'm a little bit punch drunk, but I'm with it. It's been a long day.
Is that like, you can't say, you're not supposed to use the R word anymore to talk about mentally handicapped people. Are you not supposed to say homeless anymore? Is the unhoused, is that the new term?
I say homeless. I don't know. I really don't know. Okay. People here use unhoused and homeless sort of interchangeably.
Okay.
So I'm really not sure.
I was up in your neck of the woods last weekend. I was up in
New
Hampshire. Yeah. We were in just north of Manchester, New Hampshire, a little town called Dunbarton. And then we spent some time in Massachusetts and spent some time in upstate New York. And I will say, in all seriousness, this is about to be the shittiest time of the year to be an unhoused person in that corridor of the United States. Like one night, I think it got down to 33 in New York already. I'm like, they said, we already had one hard frost. I'm like, holy crap, it's not even Halloween.
That's why I don't live up there anymore.
Where were you in upstate?
We were in a little town called Galway, which is outside of Saratoga, New York. So not far from like Scotia, Albany, that whole region.
Yeah. Albany.
Albany. I never say that town right.
Albany. It's all right, man. We've all said something like that somewhere along the line.
Yeah.
We all have. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to tell you about, I had to have my car repaired. So I didn't have my car. My wife was so happy this morning at 4 4:15 this morning when I said to her, I have to be in at 5 o'clock this morning and I forgot my car is in the shop.
Oh, no. So she had to get up and drive you in?
She drove me in.
Loves you.
Oh, did she love me? She drove me in this morning, but what made it worse was then she had to drive back home, shower, put her face on, do all the stuff you do before you go to work, and grab my granddaughter and bring my granddaughter to school for 7 o'clock.
Oh my gosh.
My wife Jody was not loving me this morning.
And she found out about this at what time this morning?
Oh no, we you know what? It was really our fault. We knew because she picked me up after I dropped the car off last night. It's just one of those things. We have so much shit going on. The biggest thing we had to remember, we forgot. Because you're spending so much time remembering the littlest things.
Oh, of course.
Oh, this is the thing I'll forget. This is the thing I'll forget. This is the thing. No, you fucking forget the idea of, oh, I need to ride 15 miles from here at 4:30 this morning.
This is why I can never be married again.
I would have rolled over and I would have pulled up the Uber app and said anything under $50 is a worthy investment here.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, so I'll tell you about, this part I had to fix I called the Subaru, because I have a Subaru right now. I called the Subaru dealership when I knew I needed to get this part done. I first brought it to a, I don't know what it's fucking called, Irish Auto. Or it's one of those national brands. They have different names in different parts of the country. So here it's VIP or something else, Shamrock or some shit. And for there, it was going to cost $1,900 for this repair, including the part and the labor. At the Subaru dealership, it was going to be $2,100 to do it. I instead went online, bought the part from the Subaru, QuickSubaruParts.com or whatever it is, certified Subaru parts. That cost me $500 to install it, have my tires changed to winter tires, studded snow tires, and to have my car inspected cost $200, less than $200. So the total job, not using Subaru or the chain store assholes, I saved $1,200.
Wow.
Yeah. What a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you have any sort of aptitude whatsoever in repairing vehicles, you can save so much money over the life of the car. But I'm like, people are like, oh yeah, you need a new alternator. Those are easy to put in. Just go to AutoZone. They'll give you, I'm like, no, it's not worth it for me. I'm going to pay the $150 labor.
It's not easy anymore though. It used to be easy.
Somebody has said that.
3 bolts.
But also,
now to have room to work and you could get in there. Now everything's on top of each other.
What's easy for somebody who has done that job is then for somebody who's never done that job, even if you could very easily look up how to do it on YouTube. On YouTube, they're going to be like, oh, all you got to do is twist this and twist that and twist that. And that's an hour and a half of me trying to figure out which fucking thing... if I'm even trying to twist the thing because it's not moving and it turns into a whole situation. And then I'm like, can I please just give somebody all of my money to fix this?
I have not ever, and I have looked on YouTube for certain things, say how to do this. I wanted to change a computer board on a refrigerator or fix this or fix. I have never found anything on YouTube with some guy from Marietta, Georgia, saying, well, first y'all going to want to do this. I've never found one that has actually served the purpose I've needed because it's never right.
Years ago, God, this was when was I in Wichita? Well, I was there during 9/11, so around 2000, 2001. I fixed a washing machine. And I don't think YouTube even was a thing yet. So I did it with just some shit I found on the internet somehow. And I ordered the part and it cost me $7. And I completely took apart the whole washing machine and fixed it just based on what I found on the internet.
Look at you.
Wow. You really did. You were really were hooked up with a lousy man.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole nother podcast.
By hook or by crook, she had to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That really was a piece of shit guy.
Yep.
God damn. I'd be damned if I. Now my wife can do a couple of things to there's a lint trap at the bottom of our washing machine. You probably have a lint where you have suddenly the washing machine won't drain anymore. and there's a little thing on the bottom. You unscrew it, you take it out, and you pull out all the bobby pins and fucking hair and whatever else has got caught in that trap. My wife can do that.
I had
My wife's
I
pretty
didn't know
handy.
there was one on a washing machine. I had no idea, but it makes
Yeah.
sense.
Well, there are on those front loaders. You usually down right at the bottom underneath the door. You'll see a little sort of cutout circle, maybe or something, and that pops off. And there's a
kind of like in the
something else
dishwasher that catches the food. The same kind of little
yes,
filter.
exactly. But it's harder to get to. I mean, it drains onto the floor.
That's
and
another
blah,
thing
blah,
I
blah.
figured out at my last house. I fixed my dishwasher using YouTube, and at this house, the handle broke off of the toilet, and I couldn't figure out how to get the other piece out of the back of it. YouTube.
Wow.
A toilet has one of the best named parts of all time: the ball and cock, or the cock and ball. It's the floaty thing inside. It's just a great name.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic name for a part. I'm sure that somebody will rename that at some point.
Yeah,
And-
it's not
and
politically
change it
correct
up.
anymore. It's now going to be called the doohickey and the thingamabob. You can't call it
Right. Oh
Which
yeah.
is what
It's
I
too
was already
masculine to
calling
call
it.
it the ball and cock.
Yeah.
So, Brad, with the child,
Yes.
so the child now the child goes to daycare, or is your wife at home, or how does that work?
No, my wife is a very hardworking dental hygienist, so she
Yeah.
and I both work. So the child's in daycare every day, which is awesome.
Yeah.
It's
How
also
hard
a
was
petri dish.
that?
It was harder.
it is.
I think it was harder on my wife than it was me because I
Yeah.
think there's something maternal and there's something about having to go to work and not being able to take care of your own child that messes with
Yep.
the mother far more than the
It
father.
does. Yeah, I
I'll
think
tell you,
you're
the
right.
first two, because we got on the waiting list shortly after we found out that my wife was pregnant. I hate when
The
people say when we
waiting
found out we were pregnant.
pregnant.
I was never pregnant.
Yeah, no, right.
But like people say, well, when are you guys expecting? I'm like, well, she's expecting. I'm not having a baby.
You can be expecting, you're just not pregnant.
Right.
I'm going out for drinks.
Right, exactly. People are like, we were pregnant. I'm like, no,
You were
pregnant.
expecting to have a much
Yeah.
easier time during the labor and delivery.
Right, exactly. Which I have a funny story about that. But and I may have told you already, but back to daycare, the minute we found out, literally we left the doctor's appointment and went right to the daycare, got all of the paperwork and everything. And it was something like my daughter was born in November. We couldn't get her until end of February. So she would have been almost 3 months old. Like that's the waiting period. So that was the trickiest part because my wife in there had to go back to work. I work primarily from home, but I travel a lot. So we've had to rely on like mother-in-law to come to town and watch for a while. So the pre-daycare has been way more stressful than the daycare itself. It's been a breeze on me. I'm sure my wife would love to be at home with her, you know?
Yeah, that was tough for us too, and particularly when my daughter went to start a daycare. It's hard fucking saying nope. I'm not gonna be able to take care of her. I've got to let. Yeah, it was hard on Jody too. That she wanted to be there, but
Yeah.
had she
we're
been
worried
there,
now
we
we're
would have
gonna
been.
miss things, miss the first steps or the first walking, which
Yeah.
is on the
No,
cusp
you
of
won't.
walking right now.
Yeah,
Miss, first words and things, which we think we've got most of those, but it's tough. And I will say, I think my daughter is going to take after me and that she's going to be a take no shit person. Because we have reports of her going up to other kids and like stealing pacifiers at daycare and just being a general shit sometimes. So at least we know she's not going to be a pushover girl when it comes to the daycare scene.
you're gonna be spending time in the principal's office.
She's got to take after daddy. She's going to get that honestly. I tell you what.
Oh, you're gonna have some great parent-teacher conferences.
Between my wife's just kind of mentality and my mentality, we had no other path we could have possibly walked but this one. So
What you're hoping for is the, man, your daughter is a pain in the ass. How's she doing with grades? She's perfect. Great.
that's
Let
all.
her be a pain in the ass then.
Right. I don't want her to be one of these participation medal kids and these pushovers. And I want her to have her individuality and be firm, but I also want her to be smart. There's nothing worse than an indignant idiot. Like if she's going to stand on principle and be indignant about some things, like at least
Wait, where's Crit? What are you saying about Chris?
He's gone. We can say whatever we
I
want.
was going to say, that's never been more clear in this country than today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
So
yeah.
true. But yeah,
Yeah,
so everything's going good. I can't really complain. It's amazing to watch them grow up. I never thought I would see so much of myself in another person, and I know that it probably seems weird knowing that I have a child, but like I didn't expect to see a reflection back of some of myself in her in only 11 months with her little bit of attitude and her humor that she's developing. She likes to tease and she laughs, and like it's incredible to watch them grow. And at 48 years old, at my advanced age to become a first-time father, I'm ridiculously grateful to have had that opportunity, because if you'd asked me 2 years ago, I'd have been like, if it happens, cool. If it doesn't, I'm fine with that. Now I can't imagine going back and not having experienced it, and I'm only 11 months in.
Yeah, and it's not. Listen, so it's not to say that it's for everybody, and you should have kids, and it does. It's just to say it does change your life.
It does in every way.
Whether you want kids, it changes your fucking life, and it changes. It also changes. I think it changes you as a human being, because the point that you just said, where you see so much of you in them, and you start seeing the stuff about you see that in your kid, things that are, I like that, I don't so much like that.
Yeah.
And it reflects right back at you. It's like, maybe that's what people are talking about, my stubborn fucking, streak or whatever it is. So it is an amazing thing. I think when lots of people who have kids say it changes your life, and people look at you and go, oh, shut up.
I was one of those people. People go, kids will change everything, and you won't realize what life was like before them, and blah, 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 blah. And I used to just roll my eyes, and I'm like, spoken like somebody who's got 2 or 3 kids and has been doing it for 25 years. Like, it changes everything, sure. I'll be shitting damned if it doesn't. I mean, literally everything you do is different after you have kids, and it's mind-boggling. But you don't,
but
in a weird way, you don't care.
Yeah. So Jessica doesn't have kids, but she has pups.
She's got fur babies.
Which is basically the same thing. I gave birth to them. It's fine.
Yeah, but even that changes.
She breastfed them.
It does change you. Well, she could have. But it does. Anything that you bring into your life, whether it be, I mean, child is certainly the up here, but whether it's a dog or a cat or another person or whatever it is, a mate, a partner, all of that shit changes you. And no matter what you tell somebody who doesn't live whatever it is you're living, they say, oh, fuck that. That's not going to happen. Yeah. That's not going to change. Speaking of pit bulls and people who own dogs, did you guys read that article or see the news story about the guy who was killed by his own dogs, his own pit bulls?
No.
He probably didn't breastfeed him. That's probably
it happened last week, and I saw a Facebook newsreel of.
And they almost only ever give the breed of the dog that does the attacking when it's a pit bull.
Oh, they didn't give it. They didn't give it in the story. It was the guy, a guy who was talking about his friend. He goes, they were great dogs, and they never did anything, and he apparently they were barking at somebody who was driving by, so he tried to rein them in, and they must have been all excited, and one of them bit him, and then it just went. But they showed the guy who tried to save him, his neighbor, he broke his machete trying to chop the dog off him. He was stabbing the dog. Finally, the police came and by the time the police got there, they had to shoot the dog, but it was too late for the guy. They got him to the hospital, and I guess he ripped his arm off or something.
My dog, one of my dogs gets so ramped up that if she doesn't have an immediate outlet for her big feelings, she turns on the other dog. She'll never turn on me, but she turns on the other dog. But even at that height of excitement that she gets to, when she's ramped up because the neighbor across the street let his pitty get out again and the dog's standing in our front yard barking and she's all freaked out, and then the FedEx truck comes by, like all of the things that could possibly get her ramped up, even at that point when she is going after my other dog, I could stick my hand in her mouth and she would back off immediately.
Right.
I think a lot of it has to do with you don't know the history of those dogs. Were
Right.
they rescues? Were they not? How were they raised? Were they abused?
Right.
And
Right.
the psychology of animals is such a fickle thing. We try to domesticate them, and we do a good job of it, especially with dogs and cats. But they're still animals, and they have a different brain chemistry that we do. They don't have the reasoning skills that we do. And Pit Bull just happens to be a strong breed, which is why they get such a bad reputation, because they're a very strong dog breed. But it's like, they're animals, man, and animals react in the way that animals react, you know?
Yeah, and if it
And
was anybody else's dog that I saw acting the way mine did, regardless of the breed, I wouldn't go near them because I know my dog's body language. And that's the thing that so many people miss. And I think No Hands Nancy next door, when she talks about her son's 95-pound pit bull and how he had never been a problem and there was nothing wrong and he was just licking her face 5 minutes before he attacked her. In one of the tellings of her story, she mentioned that the dog had been injured. If you touch a dog that is in pain, you touch it exactly the right way, it's gonna fucking bite you. And when a pit bull bites you, and depending on its level of pain, it's gonna cause some damage.
Oh yeah, a pit bull is like a bear trap. Once it's on you, it's on you.
It is.
Yeah.
It ain't coming up. It's not
Have
like
you
getting
guys-
bit by a Pekingese, but you got a better chance, I think, of getting bit by a Pekingese than you do a pit bull.
But
Yeah, they're
even
much
saying
more
that,
yippy, for sure.
when my neighbor's pit bull across the street gets out, which he does all the fucking time, he was out the other day. Last weekend, the people next door to him, Trash Can Tammy's house, they were having a...
Trash can Tammy.
No Hands Nancy and Trash Can Tammy.
Trash Can Tammy comes and takes my trash cans halfway down the driveway for me, which I don't want, but she does
Right.
it. And she does it at like 7:30 in the morning. Like this, the trash trucks come, and then she's out there. Boom, my trash cans, dragging them down my driveway, which is right next to my bedroom window, by the way. So my dog gets anyway.
But she's doing it from a place of trying to be helpful, or
She's
just nosy, or
I think she's trying to be helpful, which is why I
Okay.
can't even be mad about it. But that's not where they go, first of all. And if they're not in front of the house, I can't see them where she puts them. So then I forget that they're there until I go to drive up my driveway and I can't fit because there's trash cans there. So anyway, Trash Can Tammy and her family are having a yard sale. I'm trying to record an audiobook and I hear barking, which makes my dog bark. And I know the sound of that dog's bark now. And I go look out the window and the dog has gotten out. He's standing in his own driveway, but he's barking at the people trying to shop at this yard sale. And I see all of these people just frozen because this dog is a puppy, but he's big. He's easily 70, 75 pounds probably, maybe bigger. And so I call his owner and I was like, your dog's out front barking at people. And he's like, oh, okay. He hangs up the phone. And nothing changes. The dog is still out there barking. And I'm looking out the window like, what the fuck is he doing? Why isn't he coming to get his dog? He calls me back and he says, hey, I'm 5 minutes away. I was at work and I said, okay, I'm going to go get him. And I hung up the phone and I ran and got a leash and I get out the front door. And like these poor people at this yard sale are just frozen. They're not moving.
Yeah,
They're
of
all
course.
staring at this dog and he's just barking at them. He's not going near him. He's not threatening him. And I yell his name from across the street. His name is Megatron. I go, Megatron! And he stops and he looks at me. And then just as I head down my steps, somebody comes out of dude's house across the street and calls him inside. And so I call him back and I'm like, somebody just came out of your house and got him. And he goes, he said, I know you do this all the time and I don't know how to tell you how grateful I am that you care enough to, protect my dog. And I was like, dude, your next door neighbors are having a yard sale. He's barking at strangers. They don't know whether he's a friendly dog. Like somebody's going to call animal control on him if they don't shoot him.
Well, what was the idiot in the house doing that entire time?
Yeah.
Instead of pulling the dog back in.
I don't know what the layout is of their house or where they spend time in there, because he almost never knows that his dog is out, whether he's home or not. And his dog, when he's out, stands in the middle of the street and barks. I can hear it almost everywhere in my house.
If you can hear it with headphones on, recording an audiobook in a somewhat soundproof room across the street, I don't care if he's in the attic, he's hearing that.
The
but
other
he
part
always
of that
seems
is
surprised.
Jessica had enough time. Jess had enough time to call the guy. The guy calls you back.
I think that he probably called whoever was at his house and said to say, go get my fucking dog, and they didn't answer. So they probably let the dog out and then went and took a shower or something.
What a clown.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Just what a so like bad parents, there are bad dog owners.
For sure.
There are.
And I have reported him to animal control.
You did?
Yeah. Not because I want his dog to get taken away, but because the dog is not safe. If he can't figure out how to keep that dog contained in his yard, the dog keeps getting out. Somebody's going to you can't. As a pit bull owner, you have a higher level of responsibility, and somebody's going to shoot that dog.
That's true. I mean, you're unfortunately behind the 8 ball in the court of public opinion and everything else just by the breed that you have. And it's unfair, but I mean, you're right. You got to be You got to be more responsible than that when you know that you have a controversial breed, whether it's realistically controversial or just, people see a pit bull and they get freaked out.
Yeah.
If you got insurance, did your insurance company give you any hassle about what kind of dogs you had?
No, and it's a question that I asked specifically before I signed with anyone.
Right.
And the line has been, it doesn't matter what the breed is, it matters the bite history. So I know there are some insurance companies that wouldn't insure me because of my dogs, but
yeah, but like our insurance would not. They have like a list of like, I don't know, 7 or 8 dogs. One of them is standard poodle because they bite a lot.
But see,
apparently they're very bitey.
Breed restrictions are the same as saying like, we would never let white men live in this neighborhood because the majority of serial killers are white men, and therefore we're not gonna it's the same. It's the same thing. I would never give my money to a company that has a breed restriction, whether I have that breed or not.
Did you, speaking of serial killers, I have to brag on my home state? Did you hear that we might have found the 3rd Wisconsin serial killer now?
No.
We're in the limelight thanks to the Ed Gein documentary that's going around on Netflix.
Yeah.
He was our first serial killer, and then of course we had the boy eater Jeffrey Dahmer. He was our second serial killer. Well, now
the boy,
one county over from where Ed Gein lived, they think that and he's dead, by the way, but they think they found another serial killer that may have killed up to 3 women in that area. He died. He committed suicide in prison years ago, but DNA is now linking him to these murders that were committed back in like 08 and 09. And I'm like, what is it about Wisconsin? I was thinking about
Wasn't the Making the Murderer guy in Wisconsin too?
The what guy?
Making the Murderer.
I don't know if he was or not. He might have been. But I know that for sure our 2 big claims to fame when it comes to the serial killers are Dahmer and Ed Gein. And a lot of people didn't know about Ed Gein, especially this time of the year with, Halloween and fall. Like, he's the influence behind Psycho. His relationship with his mother was the influence behind that. He was the influence of Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. And a lot of people didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't realize. 50s. I knew Ed Gein was the influence behind Psycho, but I didn't realize until I watched that show on Netflix. I didn't realize the rest of them.
I have not watched it yet.
It's crazy.
It's creepy as fuck.
He was a sick dude. Yeah. But so this new guy, he was an EMT and he died in 09. He killed himself in prison apparently, but Wood County, Wisconsin, they're now linking him to all of these old murders. And I'm like, maybe it was a good thing I got out of Wisconsin 20-some years ago.
Yeah, I guess so.
You go through enough of those brutal, bitter winters, and it changes your mentality.
That's probably.
You eat enough Wisconsin casseroles, you're over it.
That's right. My wife hates it when I recommend casserole for dinner. She's like, "That's not a meal."
I love a casserole, but maybe that's because I'm also from a snowy place.
Yeah, maybe. But
it sticks to your guts.
Yeah. Stephen Avery, the Making of a Murderer guy, was from, is it Manitowoc? How do you say it? Manitowoc.
Manitowoc,
Manitowoc.
Wisconsin.
Oh, that's
so
what
he was a
Wisconsin.
so he's our fourth. We have 4 serial killers.
Was he considered a serial killer?
Did he kill more than one person? I don't know.
I don't remember.
I don't know that story too well, but yeah, Manitowoc, Wisconsin. That's
You're
down
like the
closer to
only one who
Milwaukee.
didn't watch that during the pandemic.
I was
if
too busy
you-
watching Tiger King during the pandemic to be bothered.
If you kill yourself, does that count as another notch in your serial killer belt?
I mean, he technically has 3
And
confirmed victims.
his
now.
final serial killing was himself.
That could be. I do know
I-
there's a weird thing that happens in prison to serial killers. I don't know if you guys have ever heard about this. It happened to Jeffrey Dahmer. That's how he died. Like, the 2 things you don't ever want to be in prison is somebody who does crimes against children, because there's apparently some sort of this ethics code amongst hardened life criminals.
Mm-hmm.
They will kill you if you rape a child or molest a child.
Right.
And apparently they hate serial killers. I don't know if it's because they feel like they didn't achieve enough with their 1 murder and you did 11. But like, when you go to prison as a serial killer, if you're not protected, they will beat the living dog crap out of you. That's exactly what they did to Jeffrey Dahmer. Happens all the time.
I wonder if it's because, like, people who just do their 1 murder, that was just a crime of passion. That was just like, I got mad and this person deserved it. And a serial killer is just killing their mom over and over again.
You may be right, because it feels like serial killers are usually killing innocents that they have no contact with. There's
true.
no there's no relationship between them and the people they kill other than they're vulnerable human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And once you know the whole history, like Ted Bundy, it kind of fits a theme, but like in the moment of investigating it, you can't really see the theme until you have all the pieces put together. But you're right. Almost none of them knew their victims that they killed. They just fit a profile of a young blonde female, or you know, Jeffrey Dahmer's case, a young male that, you know, he was repressed as a homosexual, and however all that manifests. But you're right. Maybe it's because I found my wife bonking the neighbor and I shot the fucking both of them, and I'm in prison for the rest of my life. You just went out willy-nilly driving around in your VW Bug and just decided to kill whoever, and they had nothing, you know, they weren't bad people.
Is the DC sniper still alive?
Who's still alive?
The DC sniper.
I don't. Well, there were 2 of them. It was like an older guy.
Yeah, there was the kid.
Guy.
Yeah, but the older guy is the one I'm blaming.
There was the kid and the. But I think that
John Allen Muhammad and Lee Boyd Malvo. John Allen Muhammad died in 2009. And Lee Boyd Malvo was 17. He is still alive.
So one of the 2.
Yeah, and I would
wondering how that went over in prison.
I think all of us can understand when someone like, oh, I felt this guy, you know, he was in my house, stupping my wife, and I shot him.
Some murders, yes.
But I think regular folk can go, I can understand that. I would lose my shit too.
Mm-hmm.
So there's some, you know, well, I maybe if I'm in the same position, I do the same goddamn thing. But crazy. I wouldn't make a list of people and, you know, hey, that person reminds me of my aunt who I had a crush on when I was 16. I got to kill everybody that looks like her because she wouldn't do something with me or whatever.
One of the funniest takeaways from that Ed Gein documentary that I've seen online is somebody who posted, I have forever been scarred as a kid who grew up watching Roseanne, that I had to be subject to seeing Aunt Jackie's bush. in one of the scenes where she's like laying naked on the bed, I'm like, I can see how that would scar you if you grew up watching Roseanne as a child.
Yeah.
Aunt Jackie.
Now I had to put up with seeing Aunt Jackie's bush. I'm like, fair enough.
Oh, so outstanding.
Fair enough. It's better than seeing Roseanne's bush, I guess. So there's that.
Well.
Yeah, that would be rough. Or dance. Dance would be really tough.
Yeah, old Dan.
You don't want to see Dan. You probably wouldn't see Danzo. He was a big man. There was a lot of overhang there.
Old Danny lost a bunch of weight. I just read last week he's selling his house in New Orleans. I don't know what his deal is, but he's one of those celebrities that lived in the magazine district in New Orleans, where like Beyonce lives and all that stuff. But He dropped like, I want to say 250 pounds. He looks incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Still don't want to see his bush.
No.
But he looks incredible.
No. But I don't know. It's kind of weird when people lose a lot of weight who you've only known as large, or when people who you've only known as thin gain a lot of weight. They look so different. You're like, what the fuck is going on here? You look sickly, man. You look better when you weighed 312 pounds than you do now at 114.
Did I ever tell you my Ralphie May story in Colorado?
I don't think so.
That's a fun. He was a funny son of a bitch.
God, he was hysterical. One of my favorite comedians of all time. But I was out. You guys will appreciate this. There was a radio junket that took us all out to Aspen, Colorado, for an artist named Drake White. And
Drake.
we were out there for like 2 or 3 nights. And one of the nights there was a group activity planned where we would go to the Aspen Theater. This was like 6 months after they had legalized weed in Colorado, so everybody was out of their fucking gourds excited. And all of us flying in from the non-weed states, which was every state besides Colorado at that point. So everyone's having a good time. We're partying. We're going to a Daniel Tosh comedy show at the Aspen Theater. That's our big thing. They put us on a bus. We take them down there. At the time, I'm like 560 pounds. So you take a 560-pound man, you put him 13,000 feet above sea level, and I'm already struggling. We get to this theater, and of course it's like an old theater. This had to be around from like the early 1900s, like old ornate theaters. Daniel Tosh is performing. I am wedged into this wooden seat in a way that I can only describe as searing pain on both of my hips because I'm way bigger than this seat is allowing for. So about a quarter of the way through the show, when they change from the opener to the next act right before Daniel comes on, I decided to walk to the back just so I can stand and kind of stretch out a little bit. I'm standing there, and this guy comes up to me and he goes, "Dude, can I get a picture with you?" And I'm like, "Why? Why do you want a picture?" He goes, "Dude, I think you're the funniest fucking guy. I just love you." And I said,
which in his defense, I agree. You are one of the funniest humans I know. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. But I'm like, who do you think I am? And he goes, "Dude," he goes, "I know you're probably trying to keep a low profile, Ralphie, but like, I fucking love you, dog. And I just want to get a picture with you." And I said, "I'm not Ralphie May. I'm trying to be like at least straight up with this guy instead of going, yeah, let's take a picture."
John
He shows
Panette.
his friends. Right. So this whole night, this guy keeps pointing me out to people, and I catch him like pointing at me and talking to people. And I'm like, holy shit. So this guy thought the entire time, even after the picture, that I was Ralphie May. And I wanted to go, do you do that to every brunetted 550-pound man you come across? You just think I'm Ralphie May? But yeah, so long story short, I got mistaken for Ralphie May in Aspen.
I just
and
had to,
got nothing out of it.
I just had to search my calendar because I was like, I'm pretty sure I interviewed Ralphie May, and I did back in 2015 at Audio Productions in Nashville, and it was for something at Slacker Radio. I don't remember what it was for, but yeah, he was a super nice guy.
He was a funny guy. I find there's certain guys. I find John Panette, just because you mentioned a big, I find him to be so fucking funny.
He did the bit about the Chinese buffet, right? Like, you go now, you be here for
Chinese buffet. Yeah. You go now. You go. No, come back.
You eat everything. You go now.
You should eat vegetable.
But my favorite joke of his is one where he talks about having a Mazda Miata. And he said, "Oh, those Mazda Miatas, they're great cars. You rub them on the floor and they go really fast." it's just a great, just one-off joke. You know, like an old-fashioned, old-timer comedian joke. It's a joke.
I think fatness comes with a certain amount of extra humor. Like, if you go back and look at the greatest...
It's a self-defense thing.
I think it is. But
sure.
Back to like Sam Kinison... And, even like Larry the Cable Guy,
Rosie
pretty chubby
O'Donnell.
guy. Rosie, like the funniest people tend to be the chubbiest people. And I think it's because they grow up their whole life having to try to make lemonade out of lemons.
Yeah.
And you're right, Jess. It's a defense mechanism, but you learn how to spin it, you know?
I think as a big kid, you're fucking picked on endlessly because you got weight. And so your defense mechanism is to fucking be a funny guy if you're unable to be or funny girl if you're unable to be, physical with people.
And
say fuck you. So your fuck you is a joke.
At some level, that's probably why there are so many comedians who are depressed. Like,
oh yeah, I'm sure.
If they develop their sense of humor and their ability to make people laugh just as a way to get people to not hate them.
Yeah, because if you think, when I look at some of the funniest people that I find to be some of the funniest comedians or funniest people just in life, they're not the best looking people on the planet. They're not the most physically fit people on the planet. I think they're people who have been fucking beaten down, pushed down, ridiculed, and their defense has been to fight with humor. And instead of, maybe some of those people become, the back of the comic book, you're the 98-point weakling. Here, learn how to weightlift and go on the beach and beat up the toughies. And I think the defense mechanism, like Jess says, for folks who maybe are not the most glamorous people or whatever, is comedy. Because people love to laugh, and it's easy to deflect. But I also think it depresses the shit out of you in the end.
Yeah, because I think somebody who grew up,
you.
like I said, I'm probably 330 right now, but I was 560 at my heaviest. And Husky was my name growing up. Like I shopped in the Husky section since third grade on. And it is like you go through a period where you have to like rewire your brain in a weird way not to take it personally, because every kid is vicious and mean, whether they mean to be or not. If you're not playing sports, which let's be honest, most of those bigger kids are not, maybe football like I did, you don't have that clique to fall into. Some of them fall into music or band and they kind of find their footing there, or theater. But like, even then it's like, there's no band uniforms that'll fit you, or there's no costumes in theater that'll fit you. So those are things that you can't change like that. Like you can change being an asshole pretty quickly by just thinking about what you say and how you treat people. You could change that if you wanted to overnight. You can't change being fat overnight, so you kind of have to roll with it. But I think you're 100% right, Wally. Like, it's a defense mechanism because kids are vicious and mean, and I think it does something to your brain that makes you think about life differently. And then always you've got the joke, right? It's like the black comedian can always fall back on black humor. The fat comedian can always fall back on the fat joke,
Yep. Or the short person. It's always the same. Kids are fucking vicious.
And
they're
so are
just
adults,
ruthless.
by the way.
Huh?
So are adults, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah. But they are, the kids are very good at finding your weak point and attacking it. Because they too, that's their defense mechanism, to be attacking you. Mm-hmm. It's just a very cyclical thing for kids. When I was a kid, I got picked on for being skinny and short and being a foster kid or whatever those things were, or the stupid haircut I'd have to get, or the handmade clothes I wore. All of those kinds of things you get picked on and brutalized for. But then I'd find the thing about whoever to pick on them back. It's just the nature of kids.
And then we all get into radio where we can pick on each other, but none of us take it personally because we all know it's in good humor.
Well, I think we've talked about this before, that there's something about people who are in the field of arts, in artistry, whether it's a visual art or audio arts. There's just something about artistic people that you can beat the shit out of them after a while, and they will take a beating and they will beat you back, and everybody knows where it's coming from once you become an adult and your skin is toughened up. But we all know.
Well, not everyone.
I mean, we're
I'll
all
tell you
able
what,
to.
When I was at FRE in Maryland, the people at that radio station did not really know how all of that works. Like, our morning guy, I would give him so much shit, but I was doing it out of this, like, radio people, like, give each other shit thing. Yeah. But the second I became the program director, Like, he already was uneasy with it because he didn't understand it. And then the second I became the program director, now I'm management making fun of him.
Do you think
And you
any of
also
it
had
had to do with
breast.
the fact that you were a female? Yeah. Do you think
Yeah, and,
you had
they
and
weren't used to that personality
so
from a
much
female?
younger than him? Yeah, for sure. For sure. Because
I ran into that same thing with youth, by the way, when I became a PD at like 23 or 24, and I was managing people who
hard.
were in their 40s and 50s.
Yeah, it's hard.
That's a tough dynamic, let alone there
It
being
is.
maybe one of the only females on staff on top of that and
Yeah.
being the boss.
yeah. Yeah.
It-
and I
so
think that's
those
true.
are
Like,
both-
if I was if he was giving it to me first and I was just like joking back at him, I think it probably would have been a different thing. But I had come into this like with this history. I think he'd probably had maybe only a couple of radio jobs, and he'd been in one place for a year. He's still there. So he's been in one or two radio stations his entire career. And I come in with having been at like everywhere. I've been all over the country, and I've worked with all different kinds of personalities, and in all of those, and I started working with this Joker, and in all of these situations, people are giving each other shit, and that's what you do. And you know, when I was up in Wilkes-Barre, the morning guy and I used to. I've talked about this. We used to pull jokes on each other. We would call and like crank call each other on the air, and I would move his office out into the hallway and set it up exactly in the hallway the way it was set up in the office. And like we would give each other so much shit. And then I come to this place where everybody's so buttoned up, and he didn't understand it.
Do you think any of it is generational? Like, I remember at the end of my time in Delaware, when we would bring in like part-time people or street team people, and a lot of them were female. So maybe it's the older male, younger female dynamic too. But I noticed with a lot of the 20-somethings we brought in, there wasn't that jovialness that could exist because they took that really personally. Like you cut up and joke with them or give them a nickname, it can ruin their week. Like it.
The 20-somethings?
Oh my God. Yeah. Like
yeah.
emotional creatures. And it took me a minute to kind of catch on, but I'm like, holy shit. Like when I called so-and-so whatever, not like bitch or something, but like when I gave so-and-so a nickname, like they took that really personally. They didn't want to say anything. They were trying to fit in, but it was always the younger generation that got so butthurt about that you had to walk on eggshells around them.
Well, it's like, I think, Brad, when I was interviewing for the job I'm doing now, so back in the day, 40 years ago, I would have had an interview with a person, and that person would have made the decision whether or not you're being hired.
Makes sense.
I've only had 2 interviews in the last 30 years, real honest to goodness interviews. And both of those interviews involved a phone interview, followed up by a single person interview, followed up by a, once you make it past it, followed up by a, whoever the director of it. So this one I interviewed with the director, and then 3 or 4 or 5 people who you're going to be leading, or who you're going to be who are going to be subordinate to you, all involved. And then another one also included a HR person, and there was 6 people in a single interview.
That's crazy.
And that's never the case, because they want to make sure that you're going to be able to relate to people. You're not too harsh. They're trying. I don't like how
Wanted
he
to make
spoke
sure
this
you're going
way.
to say unhoused and not homeless.
Right. Yeah, maybe.
And
But I
then
wanna
they
make
called
sure.
you references too.
Yes, and that's another thing.
I maintain
So
that I'm the reason Wally got that job.
And in all of my, I think in all the times I interviewed people and hired people, granted, in radio, most of the folks I hired I knew, not most of them, but at least 30% of the people I knew before even interviewing them. But they called. I had 5 or 6 references on my reference list. 50% were called.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen very often.
I don't think I ever called a reference on somebody unless I knew, and I've hired dozens of people, like we all have over the years, but like, unless I knew, here's the thing. If I felt good about the candidate, I didn't feel like I needed someone else to make me feel better about them.
Yeah,
You kind
that's
of,
it.
I followed my gut, but if I knew that they worked with somebody I knew would be honest with me, not
Right.
like the HR thing is, all I can say is I can confirm that they were an employee from this date to this date. And you go, well, what kind of employee were they? All I can say is I can confirm they were an employee from, like, they
Right.
can't tell you anything technically. So
They
it's
can't tell you
pointless.
anything.
So I will
Yeah.
call people if I'm like, hey, you worked with Jess Wright. Tell me about Jess. And they would be honest with me off the record. But like, it never happened. Like, you have to trust your gut, and a strong leader, you should know if you're the leader of this team.
Well,
You should
Yeah.
know if someone's going to fit in or not based on your impression of them.
having made
Yeah.
a hire at WFRE, and I'm not going to speak ill of the dead. Well, I am going to speak ill of
Yeah.
him, but I'm not going to name him as I speak ill of him. But
Okay.
he was, it's the dead guy Chris and I always talk about, who was my music director and midday guy.
What does Chris call him?
He calls him the dead guy. I really thought I knew this guy. I mean, I feel like I thought I knew him as well as I know you, Brad. Because we were in the same radio region. We showed up at a lot of the same events. We hung out. We joked together. Like, I thought I knew who this person was. I wish I had called people who had worked with him before, because I feel like I would have gotten a perspective I was not aware existed.
True. I know of who you speak.
Yes,
I
you do.
shall also not speak of the deceased, but I will say that it is a different. In radio, it's different because when we hang out with each other, it's usually at a concert if you're regional, or it's at a convention of some kind that everybody flies in or drives into, and everyone's got their best foot forward. They got their best clothes on. They're not going to walk around being a grumpy fuck, because obviously that reputation can kill it for you. So, yeah, I can understand where if that's your only impression of somebody, that could maybe lead you astray. But knowing who you speak of, I thought when you made that move, it was a really, really smart move for what it's worth.
Yeah.
I thought
So did
this-
everybody else who never worked with him.
This is a dream team of a PD and an MD. Like, these two both get it. They
Yeah.
both have the same
Right.
mentality. I remember thinking when you made that hire, that was a really smart move.
I thought so too. Now, granted, when we saw each other at concerts and stuff, like, we never hung. Like, I can name a whole bunch of times that you and I hung out at various things. There's the picture of us at St. Jude's Seminar smoking cigarettes.
Okay, I have to pause you only because last weekend, 2 weekends ago, total random, I'm in North Carolina for a wedding of one of my artist guitar players who I happen to be friends with, he and his wife. I'm in Wilmington, North Carolina, and I meet this guy, and his last name is Police. Super nice guy. Love him to death. Turns out we have some commonality. He was the road manager for Gloriana for a lot of years, and we did some things together, and
They
I'm
were
like,
in the
holy crap.
picture.
He comes up halfway through this wedding that he officiated, by the way, and he goes, I got to show you a picture. Pulls up his phone. It's the picture of the four of us smoking out front of the hotel. And Wally, we took a picture because of the irony. We were at like the Peabody Hotel or something in Memphis, and there was a sign that said
Cancer.
no smoking. Yes, there was a sign that said no smoking, and Jess and myself and Stacy Blythe and another person,
Somebody
were
from one of the
smoking
guys in
cigarettes.
Gloriana.
Mike from Gloriana. He goes, do you know I'm the person that took that picture?
Shut up!
And he pulled it up on his phone. I'm like, of all
And-
of the, that's
Too
been years
funny.
ago.
Wally, the kicker is that we're all giving the middle finger
Yes.
because somebody picked up the no smoking sign as I think I went, oh, we're standing right in front of this sign says we can't smoke here. Somebody picked up the sign and tossed it out of the way, and then somebody else grabbed it, and so we took a picture. One of us was holding the sign, and we're all giving
Flipping up
the
the
middle
camera,
finger with
With
cigarettes
Mike Gazin
in
from
our mouths.
Gloriana.
Yeah.
And Police is the guy who took the photo, and he still has it on his phone.
So there's
So
that
young
time.
and
There's
bold.
the time that you and me and Stacy. I feel like Stacy has been in a lot of our trouble making.
Yes.
It was you.
She's
me,
a sneaky one. She never is the face of the trouble, but she's always there.
yeah. It was you and me and Stacy.
She's
and
a party
Aaron
puncher.
Duvall.
Yeah.
And we were driving. I don't know where we were going or why we were all together. Like, because I feel like Aaron Duvall was a weird addition to that group. But also we stopped by her house for some reason. But it was when we saw the
The Bridget.
Bridget.
The Bridget. There was a phenomenon, Wally, in
what is
Nashville.
a blidget?
It is what it sounds like if you say Blexican. It is a black midget. And he was known, and this, it's not us making up this term, he was known off Granny Smith Pike in Nashville as the Blidget. He would take pictures with people.
Because he was dressed like Elvis, wasn't he?
He dressed up wildly.
He was dressed like Elvis, icon. And he was selling the newspapers that the homeless people sell here for like $2. Yeah, at McDonald's.
Yeah,
the Blidget.
He's since passed, I've heard, but yes, the Blidget. I remember that well.
But I also remember seeing a news story before he passed that he actually like got a house. Or not a house, but a place to live, because he had earned all that money dressing up like Elvis and selling $2 newspapers in front of McDonald's.
That sounds like Wally could take that and inspire some unhoused folks in his region.
Yes, there was that incident. There was the one with Jared, but in the alley between the Ryman and Tootsie's.
Jess and I have caused lots of trouble over the years.
But see, I never did any of that with my dead friend. My dead former MD. I never did any of that stuff with him. It was just like seeing him at concerts and going, oh, he's a cool dude.
Well, and honestly, I think he was, but you don't know how somebody is. Like, we are all different at work than we are at home, if for no other reason than your mindset is different, where you're doing a job or whatever. But I think one thing that people like he, who shall not be named, falls into is you lose perspective of how you're being perceived when you're in that mindset. Mm-hmm. And I think at his heart, he was a very good person who wanted to do good and was probably slightly above average in intelligence when it came to the job that he was doing. I think he approached it from a very natural place, just having conversations with him about music and artists. But I don't think he was one of those guys that ever realized how he was perceived and trudged forward, and it created such animosity around him that that's something you don't know until they're in that environment or you're in that environment with them.
Well, and the problem was that he behaved as if, I don't know if he thought, but he behaved as if he thought that he knew better than anybody else about anything else. And so therefore he was going behind my back. He was doing things that I said, don't do this and don't do that. And hey, would you mind doing your breaks on the air instead of updating Facebook?
So I can tell you, so Brad, me as a human being, I am pretty much the same no matter where I am. I am, whether I'm at work or at home or I'm with friends. This is it. I'm terrible at the things I'm terrible at. I'm good at the things I'm good at. I don't know how to use my phone, whether I'm at work or at home. No, I am the same person. Almost.
I think I am by and large, but I know about myself when I'm focused on a task. I tunnel vision. And I think any time that I look back over my 30-ish years in radio that I maybe had an issue with a coworker or management or something, it was because of how my perception was when I was in the zone, as I call it.
Yeah.
And I gave them a shorter, quick answer instead of the jovial Brad Austin, hey. So I know that about myself, but I think that there's a lot of people who never realize that their perception is so sour that it can ruin not only your reputation, but it can ruin every job you ever hold. And there's a guy that I also won't name that I've worked with a couple of times, that almost every situation that individual walks into becomes a problem. And at some point you have to look and go, not every station that's hired you is a fucking idiot. Mm-hmm. Like at some point you are the fucking idiot.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And most people don't ever want to admit that or look at it that way, but you know.
Yeah, oftentimes people don't look and say, what is the common denominator in all the bullshit surrounding me? Oh, it's me.
Exactly.
I'm the common denominator
in
the bullshit.
Five times in a row.
Obviously, the common denominator was white men. So
down with Whitey. I mean, come on.
Yeah, down with Whitey.
That toxic Caucasian masculinity.
God,
that just
never
is.
Doing that shit again.
You know, it's kind of, just Brad, hearing you say that though, that's starting to come back around though. The part of where have all the men gone? And people are now looking for, they bash the fuck out of these guys.
They do.
And there is such a thing as toxic masculinity. There are guys who are assholes.
Sure.
But the idea that men have to be soft, now people are saying, we need some dudes.
Well, I think
we
that's
need
why
some
you're
dudes that
seeing
can do
things
dude things.
like Yellowstone be successful and some of these other shows, because I think that masculinity, I think it was an overcorrection of the feminist movement, which I fully support. I think women elevating themselves, or society allowing women to elevate themselves to earn their full potential and be in equal positions, I think all of that was fantastic.
That's good.
But I think the overcorrection of that was, now we have to squash the masculinity so that things are either a little bit more equal, or that there's edges here
and we
there.
didn't need to do either thing. We didn't have to squash
women
men
have ever
to help
asked
women.
men to squash their masculinity. They've asked men to squash the toxicity. And men have gone, now I can't be a man. Okay, that's fine. Let me go paint my nails.
I disagree.
I disagree too, but here's the rub that I have. What is the line of toxicity versus just being masculine? You know, like,
just being a ball scratcher.
I hear women say, I don't need a guy to buy me dinner if we go out on a date. I'm more than happy to buy it myself. Okay, cool. But then don't go a step further and make the man feel like he is killing your femininity because he's offering to be a man and make the purchase.
But see, I don't think that that's the majority, because I don't know any women who.
No, it's not the majority.
I can certainly buy my own. Even today, unemployed, I can buy my own dinner and do not need a man to do so. However, if I went out on a date and a man offered to pay for my dinner, I would say, thank you. That's really nice.
But
I think
there are
totally
women who don't have that. There are people. There are.
But
women
there are also men who think that the only reason that I would want to go on a date with them is to get a free dinner, because I'm a gold digger.
There are men like that too.
When he has no gold.
There are men who think that if they buy you dinner, you have to, put out or something. There are those fucking rotten people on both sides.
Yeah, something happened where it for whatever reason it became taboo. I think all of us were celebrating femininity, men and women, and I think that needed to happen because there was some disparity in pay. You could go and look at it. There was disparity.
Yeah, for sure.
And CEOs of the Fortune 500 companies. So I think all of us celebrated that. The difference became that minority of people that went one or two steps too far and went, the reason why it was this way is because of toxic masculinity. So therefore we need to squash that. And any men who want to act like men, in their mind, it was, well, they're the ones who are going to try to put us back to where we were in the 1940s. And
which there are men trying to do currently.
Well, and look,
men
the guys,
in power.
the real men should call those guys out.
Absolutely.
And I think real men do.
For sure.
But I also think, I agree. The toxic masculinity thing that became the buzzword, I think, made men quit acting like men for fear of being criticized, especially in a workplace environment or something like that, for being criticized and ridiculed or just flat out fired for being a guy, and that's sad because I would never want a woman expressing herself and being proud of her femininity to ever feel like that has to be squashed just to make a man feel comfortable. And that's how it felt when it went the other way, when guys would have to roll back some of their guy tendencies just to make peace with everyone.
If you think about it, and not that I'm saying either way is correct, but if you think about it, that's how women have been historically. We get made fun of because, I don't know, we get our nails done, or because we like to get together with girlfriends and watch fucking, I don't know.
For sure.
Whatever TV show chicks or
Hallmark movies.
Right. Yeah. So you talk about a Hallmark movie that you with your female coworker at the office, and a guy walks by and goes, "Oh, why do women watch that shit?" And then you're like, "Do I have to feel stupid for liking these movies that I like?"
No, but the opposite side of that is women who will listen to two men talk about watching something on ESPN and go, "Oh, not sports." It's the same on either side, and I think that's what we miss.
My wife and I
is that what you just said?
Two different. My wife and I have
Thanks
two
for
TVs,
listening.
and you can almost.
I'm just doing it on purpose.
His toxic masculinity doesn't allow him to listen. That's the problem. But no, like my wife and I, on Monday night, you can bet she's going to be in the living room with the big screen watching Grey's Anatomy for the 74th time. Mm-hmm. I'm going to be upstairs watching Monday Night Football. Mm-hmm. And that's okay. I don't think less of her. I don't think, but why can't you just be who you are?
Right.
That's a good relationship right there, because same here. My wife fucking loves watching Lifetime. I married a fucking asshole, or I killed the neighbor. Any of those. She loves. I fucking hate that shit. But we can each be in our own space doing that. Come together for dinner.
Tell Jody next time she's in Nashville, come over. We'll watch murder shows. It'll be great.
There you go.
She loves that shit.
Me too.
She just loves it.
I just finished an audiobook that was is a murder show. Basically, it's a husband and wife. You thought they were the perfect couple. They were not. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
If I throw something on that's like, I want to watch something about, I don't know, Andrew Jackson. If I'm watching, because I will watch a history thing in a heartbeat.
Me too.
My wife, she wants nothing to do. She said, what the? I don't want it. She's gone. She's history. She's not in the room with me anywhere. No, I am not. I don't want to watch John Adams on HBO. I don't give a shit about John Adams. It's good shit.
Oh my God, Paul Giamatti in that series, by the way.
Oh, he's so good.
My God, that might have been one of the best roles
Laura Linney is good. They're so good. They're just so good. All right, you guys, I got to roll.
All right, Brad, thank you for joining us.
Brad, it's great to see you again, man.
It's great to see you guys too. Thank you for inviting me. I feel like we were not as controversial this episode as past episodes. So next time you ask me to pinch hit or sneak in, I will bring more of the sauce.
No,
I feel like I let Chris down a little bit because Chris is the mouthy one with the F word all the time. And
I think we've evolved a little bit. I think we've evolved. The show has just evolved a little bit.
Just since last week.
No,
just since Chris had
that.
Yeah.
Well, we're all growing up.
We started the show with fuck you, and fuck you. So
fuck you. Yeah,
true.
We've evolved. See,
and
we evolved during
Chris
the hour
for that. So next time I'll bring the sauce, and we will talk about more controversial things. But I really enjoyed it.
As always, you are always welcome to just pop in whenever.
Hey, I'm a Wisconsin guy. We established that. You're going to name something, and it's got cheese in the title. I'm going to turn up occasionally.
Yeah, as you should.
Happen.
As you should.
Good day, y'all.
Maybe I'll bring Agin with me next time. You never know.
Do it. All right.
All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.